Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most embarrassing and awkward moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. My name is Seb and I'm your host, and today we have a guest. They are a drummer, a singer, a guitarist, Rachel Trainor.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you very much for coming on. So again, I said this on the previous episode, but thank you as always to everybody that's doing this during the Adelaide Fringe, because it's an insanely busy time. Are you doing all right just now? How far into it are you?
Yeah, I think this is the second week of shows.
Okay, out of four? Five?
Yeah, four.
Yeah.
And then we had the tech week the week before.
Oh,
so
fun.
This is the third week of being here, yeah.
And you're doing okay?
Yeah.
Mental health's okay?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can help if it's not, but yeah.
Yeah. Some days are hard, some days aren't, but you know.
It's your life, isn't it?
Yeah, touring, yeah. So.
And also Adelaide as well. No offense, Adelaide, but
yeah.
do better. That's all I'm saying.
We are here during the best month of it.
I love, genuine. I don't know if I've been here when it's not been Fringe, to be honest with you. So I don't know if I can judge. Oh, I came once actually.
Yeah.
And it was fine. But I love during Fringe time. It's crazy how busy it is.
Oh, yeah. And there's just so much to do, so many shows. And
so many good shows as well. I don't know why I have to preface the shows with good.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck, there's some bad shows out there. But I've seen so many good shows already this time around.
Yeah, me too.
One of them was the Defiant as well, which you may or may not be in.
Yes.
I saw it last night at time of recording, and it was fucking fantastic.
Oh,
I was
thank you.
blown away.
Thanks.
I am very bad for watching acrobatics as well, because I'm so stressed out that someone's going to fall and hurt themselves. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was like, fuck. And I was like, Rachel's up on stage and she's doing drumming and stuff. I watched that, but there's people spinning around in front of me.
I know. So many people are just like, I didn't know where to look. And I'm just like, if I would be the same, if I was watching the show, I'd be like, oh, I want to watch the music, but I want to watch the circus. And
it's a good thing though. Like, people don't know where to look. They've got a lot of options.
Yeah.
There's some shows where I'm like, I don't know where to look and I don't want to look at anywhere. So I'm genuinely impressed by it. We'll get into all the promo at the end of the show though, for the Defiant and everything that Rachel has coming up. But we're here for one reason only, and that's embarrassing stories.
Yes.
Now, we used to work together 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah, it was around about 5 or 6.
At a well-known vampire cabaret restaurant that shan't be named.
Yes.
So I know that you said you had a few stories coming in with that.
I
Do you want
do.
to start off with any of them?
Yeah. Where do I start? So that was actually my first professional contract in Australia. So
Awesome.
I moved to Australia from New Zealand in 2012.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I had a bit of a, day job thing for a few years.
Absolute classic, yeah.
Admin gig.
Working performer. I did air quotes there on a podcast, so this is off to a good start, but yeah.
Oh, man. So I tried to do that for a while, but then it kind of just was getting, too much. So,
God, yeah.
So then I got the gig in
definitely not what we just said there. I'll edit that part out.
I got the gig where we were working
The Vampire Theatre restaurant gig, yes.
in 2015.
Yeah, cool.
So that was, I'd done a bit of performance work with another band in New Zealand before that, but this was my first sort of foray into theatre work.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a drummer or musician or talented in any way, but I'd imagine it's a little bit different from your regular, is it just like a band as far as like your live gigs at nighttime kind of a band that you were with before?
Yeah, so it was a corporate band. We actually did show acts, so we would dress up like ABBA and Blondie act. Yeah.
How was that? I've always wondered about those.
It was pretty funny because I was a drummer.
Yeah.
But I got into the band as originally as a fill-in drummer for the original drummer who was my drum teacher. Oh. And then when I was having the jam with the guy, I said, I can sing if you need backup vocals.
Which is insanely talented. I can't sing or play drums, let alone try and fathom how to do them both at the same time. It is so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I feel like it's, once you practice it, it's like anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so I said to him, I can sing. And then he was like, sing me a song just without drum. Just like, and I was like, okay, do you have a guitar? Because I, need to have a guitar while I sing.
Yeah.
And then I sang a song and then he was like, okay, here are the songs to learn as a singer. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're a singer now. And they had 2 female vocalists and one of them was leaving. So suddenly I was out the front of this band.
Oh, so you weren't even on drums for those ones?
No, I didn't actually end up drumming that often for that band.
Yeah.
I actually didn't really for the big gigs anyway.
Yeah, fair.
And suddenly I'm out the front. My first gig with them, here's a good story actually. My first gig with them was a massive big function for a department store in New Zealand called The Warehouse, kind of like Big W.
Oh, cool. So this is, and we've spoken about this a little bit before. Is this a corporate gig?
Yes.
Yeah. So like frequent listeners of this podcast probably starting to get a bit of an idea of what corporate gigs are like for performers.
Yeah.
So was it the classic kind of corporate gig where no one's really there to watch the band? They're all just kind of hustled into a room and trying to be on their best behavior, kind of.
Yeah. There was drinks and stuff. People were dancing, but it's like kind of thing where most people dance on the dance floor with their backs to the stage.
Oh, fun. So you're just seeing the back of everyone's heads.
Yeah, it's just like they're like, oh yeah, the music's just coming from this disembodied source, you know.
Yeah, like it's a really good sounding tape someone's playing.
Yeah. So there was over 1,000 people at this event.
That's a pretty decent size.
First time in front of a band. Like I'd never ever.
It's a pretty big gig to start off with.
Yeah. I was shitting my pants.
I do not blame you.
Yeah, and then. So I think it wasn't a full gig with them. I think the other singer was there as well. They were kind of easing me into it.
Easing you into it in front of 1,000 people,
yeah. And so we did this, I think it was only one sort of section that I sang with them, and it was our little disco bracket. So we were dressed up in like the disco kind of jumpsuits. Oh,
the absolute classic, like big flare jumpsuits. Yeah,
they were a little bit shit. They weren't made very well.
Oh, awesome.
So they weren't flattering, but... I was singing, I can't even remember. I think it was Hot Stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And I just forgot the words.
Yeah,
and I just didn't sing at the start. So
that is terrifying. Yeah. That's like genuinely, I have nightmares about that. Of going up on stage and then like being like, fuck, I don't have anything. It
happens to me all the time.
Oh, really?
I mean, not all the time, but a fair amount. I'll just be like...
just make some noise in the vague sounding area.
Yeah. So the funny thing was I was 19 when I did that, and everyone else in the band the other singer was 33. And then everyone else was in their 40s. They were all
quite
old
seasoned
musicians. So I learned a lot off the other singer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So she was really good. I think I've got a video that my mum took from one of those gigs that I did with them where I was doing ABBA, and I was having to me and the singer were all dressed up in the ABBA stuff. And I was the dark-haired one because I had black hair at the time. And we were doing dance moves, and I was just side-eye watching her the whole time.
That classic thing where you're like, I need to make sure that they're doing the same thing as me, so I need to,
I know, but it was good. I was good, doing, that was when I was at uni, so just having a bit of extra money and actually doing gigs while I was studying music. So.
Yeah, that's so, I think you can learn so much at schools and stuff like that. It's like university with music or acting schools and stuff like that, but until you actually start performing or getting out there, fuck, there's still so much more to learn.
I know. Yeah. You really just you can only learn by doing it.
Yeah, especially being in front of people is very shocking and terrifying, and you cannot train for it without really just doing it. I think.
Right. Yeah. And so that kind of I did enough gigs there to not I don't get nervous before shows. Maybe a really important one I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so then, when I started working at the
theatre restaurant, I'm not editing out another name. Yeah.
So I hadn't done anything big gigs wise for a few years.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 3 years that I was just playing with my band in pubs around Melbourne and Cherry Bar and stuff like that. So I was kind of and I was dealing with full costumes, wigs, radio mics.
There's a lot going on in that show.
Yeah, radio mics, in-ears, and my guitar had a radio pack on it. So at one point, I'm sitting there in rehearsals. I have wireless in-ears, a wireless radio mic.
So what's a wireless in-ear for anyone that's not quite familiar?
It's, instead of having a fold-back speaker to hear yourself on stage, you just have headphones.
Yeah, because it's funny sometimes being on stage, you can't actually hear yourself because all of the music's going out towards the audience.
Yeah.
So you just need something that, like you said, a fold-back speaker is just something that plays it back to you.
Yeah.
But in-ears are something that plays it in your head instead.
Yeah. And they're better for your ears as well.
Are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, better for your ears if you've got good fitting ones.
Yeah, right.
And because I was the drummer and we were playing to backing tracks, I would need to have a click track in my ear that helps me stay in time. So it's a little doop, 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 doop. Kind
like a little metronome kind of thing?
Yeah, like our music director's voice just going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, really?
At the start of every track.
That'd be so unnerving. I'd be so distracted by that.
Yeah, I know. It took me a little bit of time to get used to. So I was dealing with all of that stuff. And I think one of the first things that happened was I was running late. For whatever reason, I was late to get down on stage. Yeah. And the dressing rooms were above the stage, so you had to go downstairs to get onto stage.
Pretty harrowing little stairs as well from memory. They were not the easiest things to get up and down.
Yeah, they were steep stairs, and so I was running to get on and putting my guitar on whilst trying to get down these stairs, and somehow I dropped my guitar. And it had the wireless pack on it, and it was so because I was literally just about to walk on stage, it was unmuted.
Oh, so it was like a live guitar.
So
wow.
It was live, and it came through the speakers, just this clanging going down the stairs. Like,
did it sound good? Old people usually are like, that sounds like a drum kit falling down the stairs when they listen to music. Did it sound good?
I actually don't know because I had my in-ears in, so I couldn't hear it. So that's the thing with in-ears is that you don't unless there's a mic set up, you don't really hear what the crowd is hearing.
Oh, okay, so the crowd just got to hear somebody that they presumed somebody falling down the stairs.
Yeah, and it was a guitar that I'd only recently got like a year or so before, so it's the guitar I use in the Defiant.
Oh, no way!
And it's got like some like marks on it on the back of it where it's just kind of like banged down.
Now those marks, are they like a good memory, or is that like a fuck, I really wish I didn't do that kind of a thing?
It's like a half and half. Like I'm like, oh, that's funny, but I mean, my guitar is quite beaten up because I'm a little bit clumsy, so I feel like it's kind of like that thing.
I think
where
everybody I've interviewed on this, and just everybody in general, says they're super clumsy. And I'm like, some acrobats, some dancers, like any performer, I'm like, how the fuck can everyone be that clumsy and still be able to perform that well?
I don't understand if they're dancers or acrobats. You know?
Yeah. Even musicians. Yeah. You're doing so many different things at once. It's amazing. Like, all I need to do is prance around on stage and say some words that somebody else wrote for me. I can be as clumsy as I want. But like that's fair enough. But the guitar was all right at the end of it.
Yeah, it was fine. It's just got a couple of dings out the back of it, so it's kind of a nice story, like
kind of nice little memories.
Yeah, nice little meme. So speaking of clumsy, another funny thing that happened there. So the stage that we had there had a riser.
Yeah,
so it was like a catwalk kind of thing that would like rise up.
A little box would come out of the front of the stage and like ascend.
Yes,
like 3 foot high, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and so we would have. In the finale of that show, me and the other guitarist would come out and stand on it back to back and kind of play, and then it would rise up and we'd be like looking really rock and roll like on this riser, and then it would rise.
That's right, I remember that. Yeah,
and then it would go down, and then we would step off it and go to each side of the stage and then play, and then we'd go on to the next section. So this show actually went on for over a year. I think we ended up doing that particular one.
Yeah, right.
So you know, I've been doing it for months and months, and I was just like, it's really hard to not be on autopilot.
When you've done the show. It was what, 5 nights a week?
Yeah, 4 to 5.
4 to 5 nights a week.
If it was really busy. Yeah. Usually 4 nights a week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that every single week, and it's like
so many
everything's fully choreographed as well, so it's like I don't blame you for going on autopilot, honestly.
Like over 300 shows.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when
my
you think
God.
about it, I know, it's wild. So I was on autopilot one night, and we had a different person operating the lights and sound and operating the riser, and so usually I don't know if I feel like it should have been automated. For whatever reason it wasn't, so whoever was up there had to like literally press a button.
Like manually
press the button to go up and down.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just technology now. They probably could have worked it out.
It was quite an old setup they had there at the time, so I'm not that surprised by that, to be honest with you.
So I was on the riser, it goes up, it goes down, and I go to step off it, and I hadn't realised, but the guy had pressed the button late, so it started late. So by the time I go to step off it, it wasn't fully down. And I didn't even look, I didn't even check, and so it was maybe like half a metre off the...
That's a decent enough step.
Yeah.
Half a metre is a big step.
When you're not expecting it.
Yeah, especially when you're not expecting it, but far out.
And so luckily I fell back onto the stage, like away from the audience, because in this place the audience audience is literally like the tables are right up against the stage.
I think they're touching the stage at certain points.
Yeah.
And the riser box was right at like this little catwalk area. So if you were off the side of there, you were straight into somebody's chicken breast or whatever they served there.
Yeah. So I fell back onto my knees.
Fell backwards onto your knees.
Yeah. So because I went to step off it. I kind of fell forward back onto the stage, like away from the crowd, thank God. But I was wearing, what was I wearing? Like a little shorts. I think little shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't quite remember, but my ass was like in the air kind of thing. Like I was like on my knees, my ass is in the air, my guitar just makes like I'd literally just fallen off the stage.
Fuck, this poor guitarist been through like a lot.
I know.
I mean, poor you as well, obviously. Your knees all right after that?
Yeah, I think they were a bit bruised.
Yeah, right, okay.
And so
poor guitar.
yeah, poor guitar, poor me. So I fell off the stage, and I had to just get back up and just keep playing and I had to act like nothing had happened.
Yeah, that's a classic thing as well. You're like, I'm going to play this off, like unless it's a very serious injury, obviously.
Yeah. No.
Was it the classic you went off and it sounded like the guitar falling down the stairs again as well? Just that weird clang?
It was a clang.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely a clang.
You're also not the first person to say they've fallen over on stage and showed the audience their ass as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's like almost a running theme as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So the funniest thing was because that was in the finale, and we would do the meet and greet with everyone after the show. And so everyone would come up to me like, good show. Like, and they would like this look of pity in their eyes, like, oh, good show. And I was like, damn it, everyone saw. And like, because if you make a mistake like at the start of the show,
it's
usually at the end people don't remember it.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh yeah, that did happen. But when it's the final impression of you,
I was like, shit. So I
forgot
really
you all went out and got photos with everyone afterwards as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
so you got like, what was the capacity there? Like 300 people possibly coming over and saying, "Oh, well done."
Yeah.
Like,
so sometimes we'd be out there for like, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
we would get a drink and stuff. We were allowed to get a drink from the bar and that. But yeah, so the funniest thing was we had like the work Christmas party the next day as well. So
did you?
Everyone was talking about it. I was like, shit.
Perfect. So you get to relive this not like once but twice. Yeah, awesome.
It was on a Saturday night, so it was like
the busiest
sold
night.
Out, like 330 people or whatever.
Far out. Do you know if anyone got video of it?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm so sad.
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious if they did.
Because people were allowed to film that, right? That show.
I actually, I think they were.
I think they were,
yeah.
So every now and again when something bad like that happened, I'd go on Instagram the next day and try and see if anyone had tagged that place. And I'd be like, fuck, I really want to see this.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah. So that was pretty funny. And the funniest thing was it wasn't long before that Dave Grohl had fallen off the stage. One of his
so you're
gigs,
just copying on them.
leg.
Oh God, get your own original idea of Rachel.
I remember posting like on Instagram, like, I did this like Dave Grohl thing.
Tribute to Dave Grohl, tagging him just so he can see it.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny.
At least you didn't break your leg.
No, I know. Lucky.
Because that place it got the occasional injury, which happens on live stage, especially with like the more high energy acts and stuff like that. But
I don't think anyone ever really did too much.
Nothing proper bad. No.
I think there was one of the girls in the show. I think she did something to her knee.
I remember,
and then it was like an ongoing thing.
Classic knees, huh?
I know.
Whoever designs knees out there, just do them better. I swear to God, mine are fucked.
Same, mine are fucked.
If you can send me some money to fix them, along with me getting therapy, I'd fucking love that as well. Thank you.
I mean, last year when I was in Edinburgh, it's not a stage story, but it's still pretty funny. I was biking home from one of our friends' houses. So I'd probably had maybe like 3 wines. So not drunk, but like enough to
Edinburgh's a pretty hazardous place to be biking, like regardless of how many drinks you've had as well. Proper tiny little cobblestone streets, and it's so hilly, and it's tiny little streets as well. Yeah.
So this one wasn't actually too bad, and it was only about a 5-minute ride from where I was to where our accommodation was. But I was just like going to the end of this person's street where I'd just been, and then the street that was like perpendicular, I could see the street sign.
Yeah, nice.
And it was called Dick Place, and I was like, that's hilarious. And I went to get my phone out of my back pocket, and I wasn't riding, I'd stopped, and I was like straddling the bike, and I think I had my foot up on the pedal, and I went to take a photo, and I just went over.
Oh, nice.
So I just went over.
Straight on your side?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good effort.
I landed on my right knee.
Oh.
So my right knee took the weight of me and the bike.
Presumably just concrete as well, nothing cushioning your fall. Yikes.
And so that was really painful, and I actually ended up like having to get an MRI recently. Just to make sure nothing had happened. So there's still like fluid and stuff in it.
Wow.
But just funny things.
Yeah.
Dick Place, you know.
Injuries. Dick Place is hilarious.
I know.
Scotland has a few funny little name streets. There's this classic one that all the tourists always see when they go there. I don't know if you saw it when you were there. It's called Coburn Street.
Oh, no.
But it's spelt Cockburn Street.
Yeah.
There's always so many Americans like, hey, do you know how to get to Cockburn Street? And I'm like, mate, it's Coburn Street, you mad unit.
Yeah, one of my friends, a person I knew in school had the last name.
Not a friend then.
No.
Okay. Oh, Coburn. Yeah.
I
went to school with a few Coburns as well. Never crossed our mind at all to as the kids. Kids are mean.
Yeah.
Never crossed our mind to call them Cockburn. But I'm sure.
My husband's last name is Handcock.
So, fun.
Yes. So
you get any of that kind of stuff then?
I think he might have, but I think he's like too funny. I think he just dealt with it in a funny way.
I think that's how you make funny people sometimes. Is you give them a really shitty name. Not shitty name. Sorry, I'm so sorry for that. Mr. Hancock, I'm sorry.
There's a reason I'm called Trainor and not.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Name.
Yeah.
Also a feminist, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so keep your Hancock. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty funny when we were there. We had some good times in Edinburgh.
So that was Edinburgh Fringe just gone. So the end of what year are we in? 2022. Yes, there we go. Thank you. I know what's going on. Oh God.
So I don't think there was anything really particularly funny that happened on stage in that, but we just had a great time. That was with the show Rebel, which is the David Bowie circus show.
Yeah, so it's like David Bowie's songs coupled with really impressive live circus acts.
Yes.
And like all live music as well, isn't it? Yeah.
And I think what people don't understand about the show is that most of the musicians are the circus people. So
it's
only
cool,
me
isn't
and the singer that don't do circus.
Yeah.
So everyone else, there's only 6 people
and
in
you
the show.
both pull your own weight as well. I have to say, you're not just hiding in the background being like, I'm just here to play the drums and not really speak up too much. But yourself and the singer who I won't name, he can come on this if he wants to do his own PR.
That would be great.
Stuart Reeves, very talented.
Yes, very
talented.
Yes.
But I don't want to give him too much of a plug or a big head, so we'll move on swiftly from him. But Rebel is a very impressive show as well. I've seen that a couple of times.
Yes.
And very different as well, I have to say. Like your current show and then Rebel are both structured very differently, and I'd say a very different kind of crowd and atmosphere and stuff like that.
Yeah, with the Bowie songs, we obviously get a bit of an older crowd in.
Yeah, they do love Bowie, don't they?
Yeah,
Bowie,
I mean, it's Bowie.
Bowie, is it? Bowie.
Yeah,
Bowie. Oh my God.
Bowie.
I have not performed in this Fringe and I'm fucked here. So.
So I think it's a shame because, I think David Bowie's music is timeless.
It really is, isn't it? I'm genuinely amazed how many goddamn songs that person made as well. Like he was prolific and so many different genres and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think he did 20 albums.
Fuck, that's a lot of
I'm like
albums.
struggling to get through one.
Nah, but you get your first one done, and before you know it, you'll be at your 50th one.
Oh, we'll see.
It's just that easy, right? I mean, I'm not a musician, but you just fire out songs all the time, yeah.
Super easy.
Why don't you just make a Rocket Man? Was he Rocket Man?
No.
That was Elton John. Oh, fuck. I'm going to edit this part out. I don't know anything about music. Fuck, I'm such an idiot. What was one of his good songs?
Like Let's Dance.
Yeah, why don't you just make a Let's Dance? It's just that easy, right? Yeah.
So easy.
I'm going to take out that part where I got confused between Elton John and David Bowie. Bowie. Oh, I don't even know how to say his name.
No, most people.
Bowie.
It's like Bowie or Bowie.
Bowie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember working at a theatre which had a show of his, like, inspired by him in, and I'd constantly be asked by the patrons, like, is it Bowie or Bowie? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even speak English well. Like, I don't know. I'm Scottish. I say everything wrong according to you. So, And they're like, oh, okay. An Irish person wouldn't know how to say it. And I'm like, I'm fucking Irish, but that's fine.
Well,
Here's your $12 champagne.
That wasn't even his name was David Jones.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
And he named his kid Moon as well, didn't he?
It was Zoe Bowie.
Zoe Bowie, that's it. Who directed Moon. There you go. Yeah, I'm getting it.
He changed his name to Duncan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I just finished reading a book actually by my old uni lecturer about David Bowie.
Oh.
One of the cool things we got to do last year was tour New Zealand. So I got to go back to where I used to live in Dunedin and played a show there. And
how was that then?
It was great.
When was the last time you would have played, if at all, in Dunedin?
Would have been 2014.
Wow. So almost 10 years then, huh?
Yeah.
8 years since your return.
Yeah, with this, I actually got to play with my uni lecturer. So we had a
band. Wow.
Yeah, we had a band called Dr. Glam.
Oh,
so that was another kind of like theatrical kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we dressed up like really 70s glam.
Oh, fuck
vibe.
Yeah. All like glam rock kind of stuff?
Yeah. So we played songs we did Bowie, Alice Cooper.
Nice.
We had a couple of original songs as well.
Awesome.
And that was kind of my first foray into like, a band that wasn't just a band.
Yeah.
And so it was great to meet up with him again last year, and he gave me a copy of his book and he came to see the show.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them a little shout out?
Yeah, so his name's Ian Chapman.
Ian Chapman, well
Dr.
done.
Ian Chapman.
Dr. Ian Chapman.
Yeah, so
Right.
he's
We'll
written...
keep your name in, but we're taking Stuart Reeve's name out now. We can only have one shout out per podcast, I'm afraid.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really fun, and it was kind of coming full circle for me, going back there and playing this really big theatre with...
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
yeah.
but we're not here to listen to all the great things you've done. I want to hear more embarrassing stories. Are we done with the aforementioned redacted
I think so.
theatre restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a couple of other things like forgetting words and things like that. But,
Yeah, it was very, again, like choreographed and very set show.
Yes.
I do remember, now yourself and your fellow guitarist were played live music the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. One of the other performers did not play instruments and pretended to play the drums.
Who was that?
I don't know. Let's say her name.
Oh yes, yes,
yeah.
I do remember that.
And then there was one point where she was sitting on the drums and just had to mime along, but for whatever reason they hadn't put the track on, and it was just her in the background going.
Because I know that she had played in high school.
Oh, okay.
So she could kind of still do it.
Yeah. It didn't sound like
that.
she could.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
No offense, like she, absolutely fantastic performer.
Yeah,
but it was very. I was just like, I was wandering around serving people's drinks as I did there, and I was like, what's happened here?
Yeah. I mean, look, this is the thing with live music, like theatre shows. There's always going to be tech things that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially you're kind of relying on, say, whoever's operating or an automated thing.
They really have to be on,
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a good segue into the next sort of story.
Oh, perfect.
So when we put the Defiant up, we started the show last year. Well, we were developing it throughout sort of 2021.
Oh, nice.
And our first season was in Melbourne at the Gasworks in January of 2022.
Oh, awesome. That's a great little theatre as well, Gasworks.
That's great. Yeah. Fully very cool. And so with the show, The Defiant, so I'm doing all the music.
Everything. It's so impressive. Yeah.
Thank you. So I play along to tracks that sort of fill out the rest of the song that I'm not doing.
Like if you're drumming and singing, there's like a bass or a guitar track or something like that.
And stuff like that. Yep. And then if I'm playing guitar, there'll be, drums and stuff like that. And
insert whatever instrument you're not playing.
Yeah.
There.
Yep. Yeah. So I have the wireless in-ears we've talked about before. And I'm running the tracks through a sort of little sample pad machine that I have.
Oh, so are you in control of all that?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. So
cool.
it's just an easier way for me to, rather than the sound tech having to mix everything, and also remember like sound cues.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a shorter season, it's just easier for me to be the one doing it.
Yeah, because like tech and sound are great. Every now and again, you don't get a great one, and it really fucks up the show.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also interesting doing these theatre shows, is I've kind of come across a lot of theatre techs that will do theatre sound, but they're not used to mixing bands.
No, not at all, huh?
Yeah, we had one guy on the Rebel tour last year who had never mixed a band before.
Oh, wow. How did that go?
It was interesting.
Oh, okay. That's a very polite way of saying that. Yeah.
So Rebel's very complex as well, because we have a full band as well as backing tracks.
God, there's so much stuff going on in that
Everyone's
show.
got their own fold-back speaker that they all want separate mixes for as well.
Jesus.
Like me and Stu will be running ears.
Yeah.
So that's very complex. Defiant's not as bad because it's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're kind of having a few different sort of like elements coming together.
Yeah, a bit to juggle, hey?
Yeah. And so our very first show for the Defiant last year, the guy who had made the backing tracks, we'd made a few changes to some of them, so I have to get my laptop out, download the track, and I have to load it onto my machine.
Yeah.
So I'd worked with the person who did the tracks for years.
Yep.
And he had always sent me amazing stuff.
Yeah, nice.
To the point where I'm like, don't even need to check it. I'm just going to put it on there and it'll be great.
I can almost guess where this is going now.
So very first song of the show.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's
first
a big
show.
opening number. Oh, and first show as well.
So opening night.
Exactly how you want to open then. Nice.
The track just stops halfway through and I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? And I froze. I was like, oh my God, okay, is it broken? Like, is my whole machine broken?
Yeah.
Am I even going to be able to finish this? Like, even continue doing the show? I was
God.
Shit, what do we do? Like, I was fully freaking out, frozen, and I just sat there, like looking, and all the, the other Defiant people on stage are kind of just like what do we do? Looking at me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then Lucy, one of the performers, is like, let's just keep going.
Yeah, nice.
And so I just finished the show just singing and drumming.
Oh my God, so the entire show was without any of the back?
No, sorry.
Finish the act.
Yeah,
okay,
finish
God.
the act.
I was
Sorry,
going like,
that was
Jesus,
just
that's like a monumental effort. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be bad. But finish the song, just me playing and singing.
Yep.
And then I was just praying that the next song would work. And it did. And the rest of the show, I was just like, what happened? What the hell was that? And so I was on edge the entire show.
That's a great way to be when you want to perform and try and look cool and like give your best. You want to be on the edge of your seat just in case something fucks up in the next second.
Yeah, and the very first song of the very first opening act, of the opening night.
And it's quite a powerful opening as well, I have to say. Is it rap or spoken word, or it's like...
It's rap, yeah.
It's rap, okay.
I'm sort of trying to rap as someone who doesn't
No,
rap.
you're good. No, it's good. I just wasn't too sure what the correct term was for. But so you're doing that and then you just stop when this track stops.
Yeah. So,
noticeable, but you got through it,
Yeah, well, the thing was that I was annoyed because I'm a seasoned performer now, been performing for many years, and I froze and didn't know what to do. And it was, Lucy, who is a lot younger, hasn't done as much performing, was the one to save the day. And I was like...
But it's the thing, when you're juggling that many things and then it all completely falls apart, like you've got so many things going on in your head. I've had this happen before as well, personally, and even just like on set sometimes when something doesn't happen and it's nowhere near as high stakes as that, obviously, but you're like, I just need to go. Especially when there's like, if they've got gunfire or explosions going off and something goes wrong beforehand, you're like, fuck, I need to go because there's so much money to reset this and I'm a lot cheaper to get rid of than those explosions.
Very true.
But like I feel for you. That sucks.
Yeah, that was really bad.
A lot of the movements are in time with the music and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
So I was just like, what the hell happened? So I remember I was, after the show, I was like, it must have been a problem with the track because the rest of everything else went completely fine.
Okay.
And I've never had a problem with that machine before. That's how we run all the Rebel stuff too, is through that sample pad SPD S6, the Roland one.
Yep. So you can sponsor us SBSX,
I mean,
Roland.
If they can endorse me, that would be great.
And me. I don't know how to use it, but I'll fucking take it. But Rachel first, then I'll get any of the offcuts.
Yeah. So I was walking to meet my friends after the show and I was just like, oh, maybe it was a problem with the track. So I went onto the Google Drive where the tracks were saved and I went to play it and I was like, oh, it literally just stops halfway through.
Oh, so it's just like half a track.
Yeah. So what had happened was when the person who did the tracks went to bounce the track out from the music software, went to like sort of export it, it just mustn't have exported properly.
Far out.
So I messaged him and I was like, hey, this happened. And then he was like, this is why you check it. And I was like, this is why you check it. But
I was like, oh, sorry, no need to apologise. It's my fault, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. Fuck me.
It's funny because ever since then, I've just always checked everything.
You kind of need to do that stuff sometimes, though. Like you have, and it's unfortunate because you do get comfortable with that kind of stuff. And then you have that one thing that goes wrong. You're like, fuck, all right, I'm back to being super stringent on what I check and everything like that. Yeah.
Just double checking everything.
Oh, yeah. So much work as well.
I know. And it's so like just so boring.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Especially like editing and having to check everything. But it's better than taking like 4 years off your life in that minute where you stress so much for like the 30 seconds when nothing's working.
Yeah. So that was, ever since then I've been very, very, very good with checking things and making sure it's all
a lesson to all you young performers and artistic types out there as well. Triple check everything. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Just do it though, because when you're on the spot, it sucks.
And don't get complacent. Don't get complacent. So then I feel like then it was kind of like the next season that we had was here at Adelaide Fringe last year, and I had a couple of things happen then too, tech wise. Like it was funny because it was our opening night here as well.
Oh, so opening nights are cursed then. Nice.
Well, I mean, until this year they were. So I went to start. I started the track at the very start, and then suddenly I just don't have anything in my ears. Like I just can't hear anything. And I was like the sound was working out front, but I had nothing. So I was like, well, I can't do the show like this. I need to hear the click track because otherwise I'll go out of time with the drums. And I just need to be able to hear.
It's almost like, not to interrupt, but like if you ever have noise cancelling headphones and then you try and talk without any sound. You're like, you're like, you're really out of sync. It's a really weird feeling, but is that what it's like?
It's just not being able to hear anything.
Yeah,
you know?
that's so bizarre.
I wouldn't have any, because there's no speakers up on the platform.
Yeah, so it's just nothing for you.
Yeah, nothing for me. So, and plus, I won't get those clicks that are so important.
Of course, timing's pretty handy.
Yeah. So I had to stop the track while everyone kind of run on, and then they had to like stop. So everyone's like half run on to get onto the pole, which is a pole act in the show
for the opening. Yeah.
And then I just had to say into the microphone, I don't have any sound in my headphones. We're going to take a short recess while we work this out. And so it actually ended up taking about 15 minutes to get it fixed. Yeah, it was a while.
I know 15 minutes doesn't sound long, but when already started a show, all the performers are warm, you're warm.
Yeah,
like
everyone's warm.
Yeah, the crowd's like, let's do this. And you're like, I'm going to have to sit in, like, and it's not anyone's fault, but the most uncomfortable chairs in the world.
Yes, exactly.
You're all sitting there, you're like, I'm sweating, and I'm sitting next to this other person that's sweating on me. And
and so they had to get some people, like some, higher ups in the production team to come and fix it. Yeah, it was a wiring, they hadn't plugged in the right thing or something like that. Yeah, so
triple check everything. Come on, guys.
So that was another opening night, sort of like the rest of the show went really good.
Nice.
And then there was just one other time that season where I didn't check the batteries in my wireless in-ear pack. So they died halfway through or just near the end of the show. And so I managed to finish the song that we were playing without it. And I was lucky I could just hear, I just took them out and I could kind of hear what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
But then I had to wait, and I tried to yell at the performer who was walking out for the next act. I was like, wait, don't go out.
Yeah.
She did, and then so she's standing there on the straps waiting for the track to start.
Oh wow.
And
a pretty intense little straps act as well.
Yes. And so I had to say I had technical difficulties, and I like managed to mime to the sound person to like come down and swap out the batteries. And that was just a thing where like I cried after that show. I was I was so embarrassed.
That's such a shame.
Yeah, and because it's near the end as well.
Yeah.
That thing where people are going to remember.
The momentum going, and it is one of, unfortunately, the last things that people do remember from the show, as you were saying. Yeah.
And I think it had just been a bit of a stressful time, so I was like really just unhappy with myself that I hadn't checked that.
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple of other techs, and they were like, your sound tech should have really checked that too.
Yeah.
It's
just a couple of, like, it's not major things as well, and there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, that's
so it's
right.
just like one little thing that slips through the cracks like that can be such a lasting a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the funniest thing at the cabaret, we were in charge of our own batteries.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. So we would have.
You should have known then. All right. Well, I don't feel bad for you anymore.
I know,
I'm glad you cried. I'm not really. Please don't come after me.
I had like 2 years of doing that myself, of checking that every time, and we had our little like battery rechargeable packs in the dressing room.
Yeah.
But because I didn't really deal with that for a while, like in Rebel, I don't need the wireless pack because I'm just wired into my machine. Because I don't move away from the drums. So
of course, that's right. Very stationary.
Yeah, so I don't really need it. But with this Defiant, like because I'm moving around, I do need wireless.
A little bit more of a movie aroundy kind of show.
Movie aroundy.
There you go. I'm very technical as well.
So I was really I was upset with myself that I hadn't checked it. But then again, it's just one of those things. There's so many things to be thinking about on stage.
For sure.
Sometimes you just forget, and you kind of just have to be kind to yourself.
Yeah. There's so many things as well where you're like, it's happened and it's going to stay with me. And again, that's kind of why I make this podcast, so you can like release the demons. You're like, get out my fucking head at 3 a.m. in the morning when I can't sleep, you bastards.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's happened. I won't do it again in the future.
Yes.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And a load of people that come to see that kind of stuff as well. I mean, like, obviously the Fringe, but then even like the Divergent has such an eclectic group of people coming to see it. People are like, probably understand. I'm getting a funny look from a person off to the side. Did I say
Defiant.
Something? Huh?
The Defiant.
Defiant. What did I say?
Divergent.
Oh my God. I'm naming a film from 20 years ago. The Defiant. All right, I'm not editing that because I'm already going to have to edit out the start, but The Defiant. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
You're wearing a top right in front of me that says it. Oh my God. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, fuck. I can't believe I had an embarrassing moment on the podcast now. I'm going to tell this in the next podcast now.
Great. We can all relive it.
The Defiant. I'm going to say this 20 times now, so everyone. Yes, the Defiant has such an eclectic group of people.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm sure they all understand that you're only human as well. Like, stuff happens.
Yeah, it does. And as I get older and more experienced, it is easier to sort of, get over those things.
Let
it go. I mean, I'm lucky this season hasn't happened anything
that was
yet.
knocking on wood. Oh, but there's glass on top of that wood.
On the glass table.
Well, we still have a couple of weeks yet, so hopefully you can come out with another story from this season. Joking, I'm sure it'll all go fine.
Oh, thank you.
At least you haven't called the fucking show that you're interviewing about the wrong name. Jesus Christ.
Right. I've probably done it too. Can I say one more story about the cabaret? Because I have remembered another one that is.
I might tell one as well after that as well. Yeah.
That's great. So it was the first season that I did there. So each season lasted for 12 months.
Yep.
And so this is the first one. And we did like a 27 club thing for the finale.
Oh, so would you want to explain what the 27 club is for anyone that's not quite sure?
The 27 club is kind of like a bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's kind of an interesting sort of.
It's one of those like the stars all lined. Or it's like it's a something. Like an urban legend. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Obviously, there's just been a bunch of famous musicians die at 27.
Yeah, like really famous musicians as well. We've got Kurt Cobain, Joan Jett.
Janis Joplin.
Oh my god, what is wrong with me?
Janis Joplin.
I am not switched on today. I'm so sorry. No, and you've got Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix.
God. Jimmy Page.
No, Jim Morrison.
Oh my God. I'm just going to leave this fucking pod. You're the new host then, Rachel. Thank you very much for coming on and taking this over from me.
So we've got Amy Winehouse as well.
Winehouse, I was going to say that and not say the wrong name.
Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones.
Oh, I didn't know
he
that
was in the OG Rolling Stones. And there's a few other people that I can't remember. Maybe, Robert Johnson, I think, a blues artist from the back in the day.
I'm going to agree, and if I'm wrong, then it's because Rachel made me agree. So
I'm just like showing my my not knowledge of music history. But anyway, so the 27 Club, it's just a bunch of famous musicians that passed away, and it's kind of like this sort of like spooky curse, so it worked very well with the theme of the venue, and so we did that. And so I would come out first and do "Piece of My Heart" by Janis Joplin.
Oh, nice.
And I was wearing this ridiculously massive big curly wig.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How big are we talking?
Yeah, so
do we have something to scale it against? Fruit bowl size? Are we bigger?
Interesting. It was almost actually an afro wig by the end, because it was. I think it started out nice and curly.
Yep.
But because it's synthetic, it would just
explode.
Just explode. And I had a really quick change before that.
Yep.
So I had to get from just blacks into. I had to put on all of my mic and my my in-ears with the packs. I had to put on a wig. I had to put on a completely different costume.
Yeah, that's a lot as well.
And shoes too.
Yeah.
So,
side of stage as well.
Yeah.
So the side of stage wasn't the largest.
No, it was like a passageway kind of thing.
It was very cramped.
Very small. Yeah. So that would be one of my presets before the show. I would sort of like organize my costume so it was easy to grab whatever I needed, and then come out and do the thing. So I think I must have been rushing one night, and I just got the wig on, got my wig pins in, and put my guitar on. And so this wig is huge, right? And it must have gotten caught in my guitar strap, but I didn't realize.
Oh.
And so at the end of that, of me singing that little snippet of a Janis Joplin song, "Piece of My Heart," it was very cheesy. I would be on the catwalk in the middle of the stage, take my guitar off, put it in the air, sort of in front of me, and yell, "Janis, yeah," or something really lame. And
that sounds fantastic. I'm so sad I never got to see this iteration of the show.
Yeah. So a few weeks of taking my guitar off, putting it in the air, kind of a rock star pose, going fine. And this is where I had the wig obviously was caught in the guitar strap. So I go to take the guitar off, and the wig just like sort of half comes with it.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm kind of like sort of, so
you're just showcasing your wig to the audience.
Yeah. So attached to the guitar, I'm sort of like, my head's kind of at this weird angle, and I'm like, "Janis, yeah." And I kind of like hobble off stage, like, what the hell would just happen?
Because your wigs are like pinned into your hair, like they sit in your hair.
Yes.
So it's not just going to come off like you would wear a fancy dress wig from a $2 shop or something like that.
Half of it came off, so half of it was still on
attached
my
to your head. Nice.
And then my like black wig cap was just exposed on one side.
Yeah, because you wear the little caps underneath, which almost like swimmers caps or something like that as well. So it's not even so an odd look, I would imagine.
They're very odd. Yeah, they make you look like you're bald in a very weird way. So
did anyone manage to get a photo of that one?
I don't think so. I know. So then I had to quickly run off, which I didn't. In that show, I would go and sit on the drums, so I didn't even go off stage. So I had to run off stage and somehow fix it. So there's the next song, which was a Nirvana track, starts, and the drums are not happening, and I'm just like, and the guys on stage like, where's Rachel? And so I had to. I tried to fix it, but I didn't. I just couldn't get the wig untangled from the guitar strap, so I just had to pull the whole thing off, pull off my wig cap, undo my hair, and just come out with my normal hair.
Oh, okay.
So my normal hair is kind of like I'd done little pin curls to hide it under the.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your regular hair under a wig cap, you're not expecting to have your regular hair come out straight away. It's not going to be the best presentation of the hair.
Yeah, so it was kind of lank and sitting there. I mean, it was the same color as the wig.
Well, that's helpful at least.
But, so that was pretty funny.
People are just like, her hair's deflated a bit in that 5 seconds she was off stage.
Yeah, I know. It was just like, I mean, I feel like by that time, everyone in the crowd is so drunk that it probably didn't matter that much.
They were animals.
Yeah, absolute animals. And no one is really there to watch the show. Everyone's there to
It's such a strange mixture. So not to take away from the story too much, but you'd get so many strange crowds in there. I've spoken about this previously on another episode as well, but you just get people that come in and they don't know what it is, or they've been dragged in by their friends and they're not really there to soak in the arts. They're there to drink like a pint of blue cocktail and then start a fight as soon as they leave the venue. Yeah, exactly. It's a real weird mixture.
Yeah, so it's almost the same as those corporate crowds of everyone dancing with their backs to the stage, except everyone's having to sit down and watch.
Everyone's sitting there and they're having their little sweet potato mash and watching people singing Red Right Hand or something like that.
That's it. So that was pretty funny, and that was not long after I started there as well. So just all these little, again, moving parts, so much to think about, and I hadn't done shows with like big wigs and wireless packs,
real fast changes and stuff like that as well. Yeah. Quickly changing at the side of the stage can be some of the most I don't know how to feel about it, but you're doing it and then I don't know, every now and again you'll catch a glimpse of yourself in a mirror where you're like in your underwear sweating profusely trying to put on another pair of trousers and you're like, the fuck career choice did I change?
I know.
Choose?
Yeah, that's right. And with those quick changes, it's funny because your brain just wants to be like, go, 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 go. But it's actually better for you just to slow down and just
I know that's the
very calm.
Ironic thing that slower is quicker.
Yeah.
And then you come back out a little bit more composed, opposed to being like, oh fuck, I'm here, I'm dressed. What's going on now?
Yeah, because you're stressed, you've probably forgotten like half of your costume.
I know, right? There were some funny costumes there as well. This leads in quite nicely to what I was going to say, because you were one of the stars of the show and I was one of the plebs of the venue. So I was never on stage, except for when I could creep up onto stage to scream at people with the severed head of another server.
That was super fun.
Yeah, that was something. All right.
Yeah, so good.
But we'd wear like black pants, boots, and then we'd sort of get like the top half is our costume essentially. So I always wore a mesh tank top and a little cinch. So a cinch is like a
kind of like a corset.
Like a corset, but without the breastplate. Yeah, so it's just going around my stomach. So I just have my breasts out the entire time. Yeah. And I never used to wear anything underneath the mesh tank top, so I just nips out.
Yeah, cute.
And then I know, right, super cute. It's always really weird when you're serving like 14-year-old kids and you're like, I feel a little bit too exposed for what this is just now.
It's very true.
But one time I was serving this one table and they were like talking to me, and then all I saw their eyes just drift south and just could not break eye contact with my nipples. And then they were doing that classic thing with like up, down, up, down, up, down. And I'm like, hey, my face is up here. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And then I went back out to the table and like, is it not okay to look at it? Like, you're wearing that. Is it not okay to... I was like, I was doing a joke. Calm down, mate. They were so awkward for the rest. I didn't feel that awkward, funny. But after that, I did used to tape my nipples up with little X's.
Yeah, that's pretty cute too.
It was, and it was kind of fun, and it saved any awkward nipple chat as well, to be honest with you. I don't want to be chatting about my nipples over your little coffin desserts.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But ever since then, I'm like, this is... Looking back at it, whilst you were doing it, I was like, this is pretty normal. And I was like looking back and I'm like, this is a strange, or that was a strange job.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely, I
quite enjoed it personally.
Yeah.
But
one of the first costumes I was going to wear for that was a lacy top that just I would just be wearing like flesh pasties underneath.
Yeah.
But it ended up I think the lace kept ripping or something.
Yeah.
So then it got changed, and I think I ended up wearing the X kind of.
The classic X's,
yeah.
Flesh pasties are very weird as well. So anyone that doesn't know what a pasty is, it's basically like a nipple cover that you stick onto you. I've worn a few in my time as well. I actually moved on from the X's. I got a couple of the nipple pasties from the shop, so I used to wear love hearts.
Oh, cute.
I know. But they were sequins and they'd constantly fall off.
Oh, yes.
So by the end of it, by the time that we left, it was just like his real decrepit looking love hearts stuck on my chest, and I was like, wow, this looks sad more than anything else.
I don't think they're made to last very long.
No, they're not, are they? Especially underneath like costumes and stuff like that. Yeah. But there was always like the flesh coloured pasties just make you look like a Barbie doll. It's really weird. I've always found them super distracting. And then I know there's a few performers which constantly just lose pasties on stage as well.
Yeah.
Like from that and from other shows that I've had friends in as well. They'll just fly off every now and again. And you just got one nipple hanging out and you're like, I'm not going to spend time trying to find this pasty on the ground. Yeah. It's always Hollywood tape though, or like tit tape. That's the best thing I've found to stick things to your nipples.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Hollywood tape, if you want to sponsor me as well. Yeah, Rachel can have whatever that thing was that she said before, which I've fully forgotten, and I'll have some tit tape.
Yes, I know. Yes, so funny. So funny the line of work we're in and talking about tit tape.
I know, right? How we are professionals and cool,
so
and
professional.
Definitely not weirdos. I think that's probably a good time to finish up the podcast as well, to be honest with you. Enough nipple and tit tape talk.
Yes, definitely.
Tit tape talk. There we go. That's going to be my new podcast. I can't even say podcast right. I have fully fucked this podcast, so I'm just going to delete all this afterwards. No. But thank you again for coming on. And again, I really do appreciate you taking time out of your presumably quite tiring days of being away from family and friends and performing.
Thank you.
Like such a full-on show every night as well. And again, the Divergent, the Defiant, go and check them out because unbelievable cast of performers in that as well, and obviously all the hard work that goes behind the scenes and stuff like that too. But I was genuinely like on the edge of my seat with some of those like three highs. That's when people are on top of people on top of people and they're doing flips, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sweating.
I know.
So scared. I'm so nervous.
Know how they do it.
But do you want to tell us about the show and where we can find you and how to get tickets?
Yeah. So the show is called The Defiant. We're on at the Peacock in Gluttony every night at 6:40.
Not the Divergent, the Defiant right there. Yep.
So I think we're not doing Mondays, but apart from that, we're here till the rest of the end of the Fringe. So that's
6 shows a week, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So I think our last show will be the 19th of March.
19th of March. Yep.
So you can follow the show at thedefiant.circus on Instagram, and you can go to the link in our bio to get tickets, or you can just Google the Defiant Adelaide Fringe and it'll come up with the Adelaide Fringe ticket link.
Perfect.
As well. And so I actually have a few of my original music in there as well.
So impressive as well. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, thank you. So a few of there's a track by my band Honeybone, which is the band I have with my partner.
And they're back in Melbourne, are they?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and then also my original solo project called Nighteyes,
which has just released some music, I believe. Yeah.
So there's I put a single out from the show last year around about this time. Actually, I think it was a year ago today. That's quite cool.
Oh wow! Yeah, I definitely planned that. Yeah.
And then I just put out another single that's a song from the show as well called In the Wake that I put out maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's Nighteyes Music on Instagram. So you can go there and check out all my stuff.
Do you know what Honeybone's Instagram handle is as well?
So it's Honeybone Music.
Honeybone Music?
Yeah, yes.
And how about yours as well, your personal?
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is Raquel, so it's RAQ_HELL if you want to go and check out some of my drumming videos.
Absolutely, I would suggest doing that as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to have all the show notes with the links and everything like that as well, so if you haven't furiously been scribbling all this down, then look, a bit slack from you there, listeners, but I understand. Yeah, so everything will be in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
Do you have anything else that we should know about any of your stuff coming up, or are we?
No, I mean, one of the cool things about one of my songs, Lowlight, is that we got to use the Defiant people for the music video that we did last year as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
can we find that anywhere?
Yeah, so if you just Google Nighteyes Lowlight, it'll come up, or get it on YouTube or something.
Oh, fantastic. Definitely check that out.
And there's also a link to that in my my bio on Instagram.
Oh, awesome. I'll also link that in the show notes as well.
Yeah, directed by our good friend Paul.
Acquaintance Paul.
It's a pretty cool music video, so I'm pretty proud of that as well.
Yeah, fuck yeah, right. Yeah. Everyone go and like that. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
Play it on loop in the background of your computer.
Oh, please do. Yes. Yeah. Give me all the royalties.
Yes, all of those YouTube royalties. Yes. That's so much money. Yeah. And as always, you can find all of our socials at Won't Be Forgetting That Pod. This is a weekly show now, hopefully, as long as I don't get any work, which I'm fairly certain I'm not going to get anything that's going to take me away from this too much. But please do rate and review us 5 stars if you enjoyed the episodes. It truly does help. And you can find me, Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, across the socials as well. But once again, thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.